this is heartbreaking. It's like a tunnel where you really cannot see the light. You might see an illusion of a small circle there down the end of the tunnel, which is like looks like a light, but as you go closer, it's flickering, and it's now off. Hello and welcome back to the Eventual Digression Show. And today we are going to talk about the Manchester United and the Tottenham Hotspur Europa League Final at Bilbao. And I know I'm a little late to the party, but I was letting things to settle down, things sink in, um, and kind of also bring some context with regards to the aftermath of the result for both teams, right? For Tottenham and Manchester United, it was how to say put it, one of the most you know gritty, dirty finals that sometimes you see. Finals are not very entertaining most of the times, if you know what I mean. So it felt like the Godze World Cup goal that he had in the last moment, if you remember, where Germany won the World Cup, right? So it is something which is fine. We are not always going to get beautiful football in high pressure, high consequential situations. But this match weirdly had huge implications. In my opinion, I've actually made a video before, on the implications for Manchester United for winning this, because in the thumbnail it said now or never, and I really meant it. But let's get into the game a little bit, right? Because it was very interesting to see the lineups. Garnacho did not start for United. Mount started, and I thought it was fair game. Although Mount hasn't played, for 90% or 80% of the season, he's been out injured. But he did score two goals in the last game, and I was a little surprised that Ugarte didn't start. I would have thought that Ugarte or Manu should have started, at least one of the two, to have more fluidity in the midfield. Because you know Tottenham, Ange Postecoglou, he has been way more conservative in the Europa League compared to the league, where he's going gung ho with high line and they're attacking football, and it's not yielding any results. But in cup competitions, he's been pretty conservative, and I think he, in his own words, later said that he treats competitions as one-off, and he does feel that changing the style of play in cup competitions is not going to affect the overall mentality or culture of the gameplay that he wants in the team as a whole. So it might sound weird to some, but it made sense to me, because I think he does not want to compromise on his philosophy, maybe in the Premier League, because overall he wants to build a team around his philosophy, around the strengths, and hopefully, if they have less injuries in the next season, maybe he will be getting a better result, which he actually got. In his defense, got pretty good results in his first season, right, with the same style of play, and that time no one was saying that they are the Leeds United. um, Tottenham is the new Leeds and will get relegated. No one was saying that. So I understand his point of view, but results are results. This is a results driven business. So I think if Tottenham would have lost this game, Postecoglou would have been let go for sure, 110%. To his credit, I think his quote will always be etched in the Tottenham fans' memory, saying he always wins in the second season, mate. So he did win in his second season, um, you know, which is kind of uncanny to say, that who would have thought that the Europa League final will be between Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United, when they're 17th and 16th respectively in the Premier League table, and it'll be such high stakes. I would say in recent memory, it might have been the most um, high stakes situation, um, uh, in a Europa League final, in terms of the implications for whoever wins, right? And in this case, it was Tottenham. I'm just trying to look up something here, which is quite interesting. So this is Postecoglou's record in his second season as a manager, right? He won, with South Melbourne, I think in 97, 98. Then he won with Brisbane Roar, I think in the 2002s. Later, he won with Yokohama F Marinos in his second season again. And then he won like the treble with Celtic, right? Before he moved to the Tottenham job in his second season. So he always wins in his second season, which is quite uncanny, but true so far. Yeah. And apart from that, regarding the goal was a very scrappy goal, but I really want to give some flowers to Brennan Johnson. I know like he's got his detractors, and I too feel that he has a lot of scope to add a lot of things to his game. But if today Brennan Johnson was playing for, say, Manchester City, and he was putting up the numbers like how Sterling did, or you know I think he would have been looked at a different light. I really do believe it, because I do feel this. He, uh, I mean, he really scored the goal. I don't know who scored it. Maybe it's Luke Shaw, maybe it's Onana, maybe it's him. He's got credited for it, for Tottenham to win a trophy in 17 years, right? In 17 years, this is the first trophy that they have won. But here are some numbers for Brennan Johnson, right? He has 18 goals in all competitions this season. He has 14.0 xg with 78 shots, with 0.18 xg per shot, which is not bad, in 50 games. So he has 18 goals in 50 games, which is not bad for the kind of season that Tottenham had. And, Son also having a down year. And I think he's kind of past his prime now. So I think these goals have been super, super important for Tottenham, and especially it really paid off because he scored in the final. So that is not those are not bad numbers, for a winger. So, and his movement was really good for the goal. His movement was really good. So I think Manchester United kind of lacks in those areas. They do not have the um, movement in the front lines like that. I'm pretty sure Bruno is capable of playing balls like that. Even Luke Shaw is capable of playing balls, floaters over the top, if there's a good movement. And unfortunately, Hoyland, even though I agree he does not get enough service, but I think his movement is not good enough, nowhere near good enough, right? And the incredible thing is, some United fans might say, it was a bad luck. Even Amorim mentioned, which I guess there's nothing else to say for a manager in this situation, but he did mention that United were the better team. But in a final, it does not matter. It does not matter. Me being a Liverpool fan, I can say that the final that we lost to Real Madrid in Champions League final 1-0, I mean, we we were better than them in the 80% of the final, right? But it does not matter, right? Like, even 2 years down the line, people will only know who won the Europa League. They will not remember who were the runners up. And incredibly, Tottenham took 70 minutes to complete 100 passes in this final. So, like, yeah, Postecoglou really kind of dirtied it up. He just threw in the kitchen sink towel and like parked the bus, get the biggest bus that you can find from Tottenham, and just park it right there in front of their goal. And they have good defenders. Mickey Van der Ven and Romero are really good defenders. And Romero really got into the head of McGuire as well through the game. So overall, they played that dirty game perfectly, which I think is kind of Mourinho's forte, especially in finals. Right, like that Chelsea team, Drogba and Terry, they, I'm not comparing Spurs with them, but I'm saying they were the masters of that. So that way, it was incredible, right? And Vicario had a masterclass as well. I think he's had a mixed season. When he came to the team, I felt he's one of the really bright spots in Tottenham team. Very good recruitment, but I feel he does have some shortcomings, especially collecting the ball when in the box, or when a ball is floated in or from corners. But he is an excellent shot stopper. He is an excellent shot stopper, and it was, yeah, that was that. And let's get on United. I think no one stepped up. Bruno didn't step up because I think he was playing too deep for my liking. Casemiro, who's played really well so far in the Europa League, didn't step up. He did play some good passes, but nothing groundbreaking. And who else is in their team? Yoro actually had a good game, apart from that shot in the end, which he shouldn't have taken. He had a very good game for a 19-year-old. He looks like a real talent. And I think, Ahmad Diallo, like, he was very lively in the first half, but he ran out of steam. Mount, I don't know what's going on with him. Really, I really don't know. He looks like a shadow of a shadow. Really, he's. I mean, I hardly noticed him, right? And apart from that, Onana had nothing much to do apart from, that uh, goal which they conceded. So yeah, it was disaster. The fans have every right. The fans have every right to be frustrated by this and heartbroken. Being a Liverpool fan, I understand, the joy in reveling in this, but as a football fan, I do feel for the fans, because this is heartbreaking. With It's like a tunnel where you really cannot see the light. You might see an illusion of a small circle there down the end of the tunnel, which is like, looks like a light, but as you go closer, it's flickering, and it's now off. That's the best way to put it, because it's looks really bad financially. you know it looks really bad. In terms of players, it looks really bad. In terms of manager, his performance in the final is really concerning. I would say, because there are some really weird decisions and really late subs. I think Garnacho and Mainu should have come on way earlier, to make it more fluid, because Spurs were parking the bus and they did not have anyone to kind of, break the block, right? So Manu does those, late runs in the box, and he has that technical ability to, make a turn, pass the ball, or put the ball in the back of the net. So you needed those things, and I think the changes came in way too late. So the manager is a question mark after this. A lot of trust is lost, I would say. And there's nothing more to say about the owners, Jim Ratcliffe, Glazers. I mean, there's nothing to say on that front, because what can they do, right? What can they do? They cannot overhaul the team. They do not have Champions League. It looks like they're at the pits of hell, to be honest. And it's like making, you know no nothing they can do, nothing they can do now will convince the fans or anyone else that, United will bounce back next season, come in the top four, blah blah blah, and all that. Yeah, they can make a few signings, but this team needs a full-fledged overhaul, for which they don't have the money. And the rumor is that I'm hearing that Amorim is going to get 100 million, and that is not a lot. uh, I would say, to turn this team around. We'll only have to wait and see what happens. But this is really bad. And on the other hand, Tottenham's season totally changed, like, because they qualify for the Champions League. I do personally believe that Tottenham already had a better set of players in their roster on paper than Manchester United, right? Because they have good attackers. Um, Solanke is a solid player, I think. You just have to add, um, like, one good striker, and it can be a good thing. Pedro Porro, very creative. Um, and I would say Madison, he didn't kick a ball, but he's a decent player to have. in the sense like he's a decent squad player to have, I would say. So they don't have to rip it up. They don't really have to rip it up. They have a good defense. Maybe they need to buy a center back because Van der Ven is not reliable. So they have the team. They have had a lot of injuries. So I think now that they're qualifying for Champions League, if they make some smart buys, they can really pick it up, right? And in United, you can really count the players in one or two hands who should stay back, in my opinion. But anyway, that's a thing for a different time. That's a conversation for a different time. The other thing that I would like to say is that I just want to briefly speak about Garnacho. The news has also come out that Amorim, the two things, right? First, I want to cover Amarim after the match said that he is going to resign without compensation required if the club asks him to do so, but he will not quit on his own. That's very gracious for him to say. I don't want to kind of pull on the heartstrings by suggesting that that was a diplomatic play or he was trying to win the fan sympathy or anything like that. Amarim seems to be a sincere person. He's young and he's in a very difficult situation. And I feel like he meant it from the bottom of the heart. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But looks like he's going to stay. That is the word. And immediately his first decision in front of the team, apparently, it's been reported by Fabrizio Romano, David Onsin, that Garnacho is out, right? Get out, Garnacho is his message, and I don't understand this. Okay, I do not understand this because when I'm looking at really influential Manchester United fans and fan channels, many of them, apart from some sensible people like Terry from the Football Terrace, a lot of them, they're really sympathizing with Garnacho in this case and saying that he was right to be disappointed. He should have played 90% of the games of the minutes or something like that. And Mount shouldn't have started and stuff like that. In the same way, those same people had really thrashed Sancho. Not that I'm defending Sancho, I'm just coming from a neutral perspective here. Like, in the same way, they have uh, like defended Ten Hag against Sancho when Sancho was literally you know um protesting against the manager because the manager said that he doesn't train well publicly. So here the player is directly saying, and this is not the first time, by the way, directly saying that you know he literally used the word we played some shit matches, lost all games. I played 90% of the games in Europa League, helped the team, and I just get 20 minutes. I mean, yeah, you got 20 minutes. You are 21 years old, who have had a terribly inconsistent season, very predictable gameplay, like always some dribbling and shooting, no passing. Okay, yeah, because Manchester United have a very poor attack, you are starting the games, but it's not that you have like set fire on everything with your form or anything like that. And plus, you are 21 years old. Just sit down, listen to the manager, and help the team when you are called for. That is my 2 cents in that. And I think most fans that I know in their own teams will want players who are humble, unless and until you're a superstar like Mo Salah, or you're a superstar like Cristiano Ronaldo, or players like that. You do not have the right to throw a fit, right? Do your game, let your game do the talking, and I do not see that. So I think such toxic players should be immediately gotten rid of. And now people are saying, some influential Manchester United fans or fan channels, they are saying that the club is doing that to get money anyway because he is 100% profit. He's from the youth system and all that, and they're just cashing on that because they need the money. That's why he's being treated like that. Yeah, so what? It happens all the time, and especially if you have a toxic player like this, who is, I can guarantee you, with his kind of mentality, if he doesn't change his mentality, he's not going to play for a great manager. A great manager like Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, or any of those managers, they are not going to keep him. The only place, maybe if he is a world beater, he can end up in Real Madrid, because they don't. I don't think they value the mentality that much. In that sense, they do keep superstars, but then you have to be of that level in terms of the numbers. But apart from that, no one is going to put up with that. In the modern football game, it is the manager's game. It is the team game. It's the motion offense. It is the triangles and the box midfield. It is all about strategy. It's not about flair, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it. So unless and until you have the numbers are the key things here. Unless and until you can back up your performances with numbers which are steadily correlated to the team's win percentage, you are no one. It doesn't matter who you are. Look at Casemiro. He has a decorated career, and the moment he started playing inconsistently, he was thrown under the bus, and rightfully so. So there is no leeway, and I don't think Garnacho even has the credibility. Just because he has a wonder goal and a Puskas award doesn't mean that he is Cristiano Ronaldo. And I'm pretty sure many of the United fans will agree with me on that. Although I'm not saying or asking anyone to think how you want to think. You think what you want to think. That's just how I feel about it. And I think that's a good call to cash in on him. It's a easier decision now. And, get the money, reinvest in the team, and see how the future looks. But Tottenham Hotspur are the Europa League champions. This is the third Europa League they have won, the second highest after Sevilla, for any team in this competition. And good luck to Ange. I'm very happy for Heung-min Son. No one deserves it more. And, um, on to the next season. Thank you.